Welcome to another episode of the Angels Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, experiences, wisdom, but also love, high frequency here to share with all of us. Most of the guests are giving service to others. It's the highest calling. And that's oftentimes just holding space too. Our guest today is incredible, coming to us from Arizona, Danny Michaels, angel intuitive medium. He's been helping others for a long time. Very good at what he does, very connected, knows his stuff. And I'm just very thankful to have him here today. Danny, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Hey, so you do a lot for folks. You've also experienced a lot, seen a lot, felt a lot, and you managed to kind of keep it balanced so you can stay in your heart and keep helping more people. Why don't we have you describe what you do for folks and then maybe either take us back in time or today, how are you seeing angels? What are they like for you?
Well, I was born like this. I always had like an imaginary friend that never went away. And it was a process for me. They first, looked like kids, and then they told me they were angels, and then they showed me their true selves. And I see them as like beings of light that are very big, always above us, really big, like 12 feet or so. And they're like light figures, their bodies are made of light for me. I never see their faces because they're just showing they shine so bright. And that's how I see them, but I see them all the time, like my ability is very physical. It's not like I see in my mind's eye. It's like I see them like I see you. Um, and I basically, use my ability. I think that the best way that I can describe what I do is that I help people connect with God, the way that it's supposed to, not the way that, religion made a mess with. But that's what angels do. Angels are warriors of faith. So their main purpose is to bring their faith through their love, through their connection, through their protection, is they make us they're always the bridge, to creating more of that faith energy, because they always tell me the light of God is inside of us, all of us, but it gets activated by faith. So that's why they always try to help us grow. So even though I do readings and I do all kinds of things, to help people, I think my biggest mission here is to grow people's faith, to really connect them to that Christ consciousness level of living. And that's what I think my main purpose is.
Mm. Can you give us a little bit more on faith? Another definition, like is it letting go to get out of the head into the heart, into what you've already got? Could you tell us a little bit more about faith?
Well, to me, a lot of people are gonna like connect faith to like religion right away, like, worship. But no, faith is a trust. It's an energy between you, your angels, God, whatever divine connection you have. It's a trust where you're divinely protected all the time, where that you have faith that everything it's good, everything it's positive. Faith is the energy that links all positive frequencies. You cannot love or hope without faith. So, like, faith is a trust in you're being protected, you are connected, you are spiritually surrounded and connected. Um, so to me, that's one of the main frequencies. But a lot of people the mistake faith for worship. And no, faith is a trust. It's like it's a connection between you and God, and you trust God in your heart, not what people tell you or what, religion tells you. And that's to me, that's the biggest frequency that even allows us to hear angels. When you don't have a lot of faith or trust in your angels, you won't really see them. You won't really hear them. And that's something that that to me, that's why it's the most powerful frequency. It's because it allows you to open up to all good emotions.
Beautiful, beautiful answers. I love how you're talking. Okay, guardian angels, people can get caught up on guardian angels like anything else, and there's a lot of stuff. How do you like to handle the guardian angel topic? But let's start personally, if you're willing to go there. You're a guardian angel. Have you always known the first name? Could you give us some more detail?
So I'm very different. Like, I know that a lot of people speak about one guardian angel. I actually always see a group of them with people. So I've never seen less than two, and I've never seen more than nine with one person. To me, the number doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you're more protected or less protected. It's an exchange process because somehow they also get to learn from our humanity and kind of helps them for their next charge and stuff like that as they continue to take care of us always. So to me, when I would see my guardian angels, they would, like they would look different. They would, what sometimes they would be female, sometimes they would be male, like they would change a lot in that regards. But the way I can recognize them right away, because to me, they speak very uniquely. So even when I see someone else's angels, they speak different. So I already know even though they look kind of the same, like they feel and they speak different to me, and that's how I'm able to kind of like see that because it's a recognition. It's almost like, for example, when mine speak to me, I can feel a glimpse of my own self speaking in like having an energetic connection to them. And when I speak, for example, if I speak to someone else's angel, I feel their energetic imprint in them.
Mm.
So it's like a reflection because they know us, they're with us since the moment we're born. And they know us better than we know ourselves sometimes. And it's something where they take also a trait of our personality, a trait of our energy. It surrounds them also. And they has I call it like that's to me, that's like an energetic imprint that they have. And so to me, like, a lot, I know even the Bible speaks about one guardian angel, but I always see a group of them that just kind of interact with someone. And it just, like I see that, and they all speak together. Like, I don't know how to explain. Like, angels don't really speak with words, they speak with frequency. So like that's something that, I learned to translate that very, very young.
And you're my first guest in 400 tapings across three different product lines or show lines that noted that they're still learning. They're learning from us. And I love that. It's brilliant. It's beautiful that you said this. From our perspective, they're pretty close to perfect. They have like they can see it all and they can see way things can get done and so on.
But they're
But
not human.
no.
So they're not human. So they kind of like learn from I mean, I don't know if I would say learn or I mean, they do though, but because it's almost like for them to be in charge of humanity, they have to kind of assimilate themselves because they are perfect. They're close to perfect. So it's almost like they're working with imperfect people. So I think that sometimes our choices, our free will, are things like that. They learn from it and they're like, okay, why did they just make that decision? And so they learn a lot from like to kind of help them continue to take charge of us and take charge of humanity.
I love that expression. It's hard to make anything foolproof because fools are so darn ingenious. But that's the beauty of free will. The contrast, you can make any decision you want. You'll get there sort of somehow. Okay, talk to us a little bit about seeing an angel in human form, but it could be dream time. Do you have something popping to mind or to the heart that was one of your early stranger with sparkly eyes, the backyard, or last week you were headed to the dry cleaners diner and somebody said something you were just thinking about this morning, you turn, they're gone. Do you have one of those experiences you can share?
The only ones that I can think of is when I was very young. And because I sometimes want those experiences, but because everywhere I go, I see angels. So to me, at the grocery store, it's people, it's a store full of people, and then above them, it's a store full of angels. So to me, I never stop seeing them. They're always with them. I always hear them. It doesn't overwhelm me, but it's just something that I keep seeing all the time. So they don't really come to me in human form very much recently because I can see them in their true form all the time. But when I was younger, I had an experience with one of them that basically what kind of I think I was going down the wrong path, like walking somewhere. And I remember this person very like to me, he looked like um I don't know, like to me he looked like Native American for some reason, and but I could see that his eyes were very bright, like a hazel bright, like very, very intensely. And I remember he grabbed my hand and he said, "No, go this way," and I did. And then I kept walking, and then I just noticed he walked with me until I kept talking to him, and then I just looked and there was no one there, like it was just kind of like that.
I love it. What have you learned in the last couple of years, last 6 months? What have you had to let go of as part of your process of continued expansion and growth?
The biggest thing for me, I think that I had to be, I'm very spiritually connected. So the things that I have a hard time navigating, it's my humanity. So like, connecting with my physical body, connecting with like the humanness of people. Like for example, I let go of a lot of blockages in love because at first I didn't understand why people want to get married or why people seek a partner, because to me feels a little bit um not necessary. And so I had to kind of like, I started to learn a lot of things to navigate more with my humanity, like kind of like accepting, okay, I'm still in a human body. I have to live the human experience also. Like it's not just all about, spiritual stuff. And even though, because that's where I connect, so quick and so easy. But when it comes to like my human vessel, it's something that I struggle with the humanness of things, and I feel like everyone else is the opposite. They're so good at their physical bodies or their humanness, and then they struggle more with like the spirituality and believing in it, having faith and stuff like that. And with me, it's the opposite. It's more the blockages of humanity or like navigating like, I don't know, like having like getting married or doing things like that. It's more something that I had to learn. Hmm.
Is love the fabric of the universe?
I think it's faith. To me, it's more faith, the fabric of the universe. I think that love is a frequency that you have to stay in, especially when you're giving free will. You have to stay in that frequency. But I feel like with faith, it navigates the entry point to love, to hope, to all things good.
Can we try to smear, and by that I didn't mean smear, can we try to fuzzy the definition of faith, love, and compassion into one broader swath, like an ink blot when you're painting? Um, so I have a definition from an angel named Dale like 10 years ago on compassion, and I think there's a trillion definitions of compassion. Um, he said, compassion is just being and trusting the outcome to be of the highest intent for all. And I feel like that's really close to what you've been saying. And I love that. And it gets close to love and it gets close to faith. And that could kind of be the patchwork, couldn't it?
Yeah, I can see that. To me, when I think of like the definition of faith, I think it's made up of all of those things.
Mm.
It's like it to me, that's why to me, faith is the foundation for all of those creations. So like compassion, love, like all of it, I think it's like a puzzle that creates faith and stuff like that. But I love that definition that you said about compassion because that's to me, it's what they really resonate with all the time.
Well, and before I ask a trillion dollar question, like on a game show, which is, are we the only casino on the Vegas Strip in terms of the universe, cosmos? Is it humanity at the pinnacle of everything? Are we not alone? But before I get to that, I'll read four more definitions of compassion. So I'd love for your reaction to any or all, or what just comes to mind next or to the heart. Okay, Jesus said probably like 10 years ago, compassion is open eyes and open heart. Archangel Raphael said compassion is releasing fears and judgments. Abe, the Abraham of old, said compassion is not judging, taking action with no thought. And then Mack, don't call her Mackenzie, another angel, said compassion is treating every moment with the awareness of a newborn baby. Did all of them jump out of you, some of them, or do you want to take us somewhere else?
They all have a lot to do with how the angels look at compassion for sure. I think the biggest one that popped up to me was the one that you spoke about Jesus. Um, that's the one that to me feels really strongly connected to like the compassion word, like what is it that, because every when I look at compassion and I ask the angels about it, the first thing they show me, it's a mirror, like being able to see everyone as you see yourself, being able to treat everybody as as you would treat your higher self, as you would treat God, as you would treat Jesus. So like it's having that language of love and seeing someone uniquely and perfectly, if that makes sense, as opposed to with the eyes of judgment or anything like that. I have a saying that Jesus told me that kind of resonates with what you're saying, but he he comes through to me a lot, Jesus, and teaches me a lot of things that he just wants people to know or like make a video about. But he told me the devil knows your name, but would call you by your mistakes. God knows your mistakes, but would call you by your name. When someone only talks about your mistakes or only reminds you of your mistakes, now you know what frequency they're aligned with. You know,
I love this. And I'm going to go back to it's kind of golden rule-ish, but regard others as yourself, generously and without fixation. I think Angel said that one a while ago. I love this. Again, wow. Let's talk broad, cosmic. Are we the only casino on the Vegas Strip? Is it humanity? Have you met galactic beings only in dream time? Is it just angels, spirit guides, passed over loved ones, pets? Can you kind of paint the picture of all the different loving beings? We're talking just love and above. Can you paint the picture from where you're sitting?
so I God likes to keep me in a very strict angelic frequency. So that's kind of like where he wants me to stay. But I have met everything because my ability, I always tell people it's not all unicorns and rainbows. I can see everything and I've seen galactic beings, I've seen earthly beings, I've seen all of it, all of it, that all so we're not the only casino in the Vegas Strip. I think that would make God like this tiny. And to me it's like no, like God doesn't fit in one book, he doesn't fit in one world, there's many. That's what angels do. Angels have the knowledge to take care of all of them, not only humans, they go everywhere. To me, angels are the highest vibration. They're the highest, like they're God's first creation. They're God's first children. They're the ones that were created first. So that's why they're the strongest and the ones that take care of others. They're like our big brothers, our big sisters. Um, and then from there is I've seen a lot of like star beings. I just don't have a lot of knowledge of them. I tell people what they look like and what they want and what they want to teach them, but I don't have a lot of knowledge of like the galaxies or the I don't know if they're called tribes or whatever, but I don't have a lot of knowledge of them. And then human, dead people I see all the time too. It's the same thing as angels. To me, they're everywhere. I never stop seeing them. They just don't have feet to me. They look like you. They're just not from their knees down. There's nothing. That's how when I was little, I was able to pinpoint who was dead and who was alive. Because to me, they look the same. It's just when I would look down and I'm like, okay, you have no feet. That means that you're dead. So like it's something before I started to master the energetic connection of a spirit and someone that's alive. That's how I would decipher it. And of course, pets also, they're all over the place. And I can't speak to pets, so that's one frequency I can't do. I can speak to everything higher, but pets, I don't know why. I can't understand that frequency. So what I do is that I have a spokesperson, either an angel or a dead relative that speaks for them, like they become a translator for me. But I can't directly speak to pets for some reason.
Love this. Are you ready for a little bit of sage? I'm going to light sage in Texas. People can catch it through two screens. We've been doing this for 3 years, and no limits is no limits. Time and space isn't quite what you think it is. And the only rule, which I almost forgot to say, is set your intent. Ask angels to make it nice, get you out of your head into your heart. Your heart's doing the Zen thing, smelling without smelling. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Danny, for a little bit of sage? Okay. And then anybody getting sage at home, just you can ask for flowers, ocean if you want to get sparkles all around you, glitter. You won't have to vacuum later. It will come out of the carpet. Don't send mean messages for this. Just ask for a lot of light. Okay, here's the sage. And it always takes a little while to light this up. And I'll tell a dad joke because I can. Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. Nobody has to remember the characters. Bert offers Ernie ice cream. What's Ernie say? Sure, Bert. Okay, here's the sage. You were already getting it like five
Yeah.
minutes ago? Okay,
Yes.
I'm gonna close this out so I don't smoke out the room. I'm usually in the living room, um, and I don't need to blow on it. Whoops. I'm somewhere else right now. But I'll get back to show hosting in just 1 second. With your permission, can I put up Archangel Michael and a Joy photographs, which you're already plugged in, so you'll probably be just doing it directly. But people can use the photos as a prop, or just look out a window and see directly. Whatever you're comfortable with. Close your eyes and feel what you feel, get what you get. But if you could share something from them or from other angels stepping in who are like, we'll handle this, and do a generic message. And I kept forgetting one question. It's going to be the political question without touching on any political details. We have so much tumultuousness, we'll make up a word, so much stress going on in so many different countries and everything. And this is a perpetual ebb and flow around the globe. That will be the next big question. What's the reminder from angels to stay in the heart, remain in faith, and so on. But I'd love to get you on that one in about a minute. Here's Michael and Joy. If you could feel something, get extra, sparklers streaking across the sky, anything extra that makes you laugh. And what are you getting? And I'll be quiet now.
With Archangel Michael, I'm really close to him, so I see him all the time. Like I always tell people, I feel like he raised me, like he taught me everything I know. So right away when when you showed me that photograph, he said that it was like I was very connected to, you see like the big orb and then you see a bunch of them around it. Um, that's because it's like that's how big he is, you know what I mean? Let's like there's all of those little, it's almost like to me looks like a nebula, you know? Yeah, exactly. So like that's awesome. That's an awesome picture.
Oh yeah, concert at if anybody's ever visiting Austin, Texas, you need a barbecue lunch dinner place that's good. Stubbs Barbecue, gospel brunch on Sundays, but the backyard is this amphitheater for amazing bands from all over the world, part of the South by Southwest, like one of the 200 venues. But great concerts and such a high vibe. It was either a French concert or a Two Door Cinema Club out of England. But back to okay, so Michael was telling you.
So he was just telling me like about the picture, he was like, yeah, that's how, to me it's like it's a small picture, but I want people like he wants people to imagine it as a big, galaxy with like, all of these things that are surrounding him. Um, and that's something that he kept showing me. When you mention all of these things, he also talked about the reason why you picked, him and Joy, because it's like a connection towards, Archangel Michael represents protection, represents like kind of like the warrior of the heavens, and then you pick Joy. So it's like that's the message right there. It's like he wants people to protect themselves, but also to fight with joy, not with war, not with negativity, but with like if you're gonna join the fight of the light or the fight of whatever, do it with joy. That's what represents the real God energy.
Okay, so there's always going to be a lot going on, and it's easy to slip down a hole on any topic. It could be a workplace, the divorce you're going through, health crisis, external, country this, country that, politician this, politician that. What's the biggest reminder you personally want to give to all of us to stay the course here? But also, then, can you have either some angels? They either have the bingo contest to see who steps forward or they just know. Can you go first you, which is still angels speaking through you, but then can you officially do some angels as well? On can we trust that we're protected? Can we trust there's a bigger plan?
Yes. That's where the faith comes in, like even if the world gets dark, if the world gets, you have to trust that there's a whole thing going on behind what our human eyes see. We have to trust that there's all going on there. The energy that I kept feeling coming through is actually the energy of the Holy Mother.
Mm.
And she wants to people to understand that there is a shift in the world that's happening where we're going to notice that we're going to be connected more to the divine feminine because that's what the world needs right now. It needs more of that femininity, that mothering, that whole thing that's going to connect us towards finding ourselves more united, towards finding ourselves more connected. Yeah, exactly. So like to me, that's something that like that's where I was getting to like there's more of that connection. Even men are starting to look at their themselves in a different way so that they can start to hone in more in their femininity so that they start to connect more with their divine feminine so that they allow themselves to be more kind to themselves and to others, so that they allow themselves to be taken care of and be taken care of by others. So, the energy of God's feminine form, which is Mother Mary, the divine feminine, that is what's coming through right now for the world as it's trying to fix a lot of the things and the damages that are going on.
I love this. Okay, so that was a classic photo or drawing or picture of Mary, and I know if you're from Europe or Ireland, you have to have it that way. I'm still going to put up a modern photo that is technically an actress from the 90s from Israel, but don't tell anybody. This photo will move. Her eyes will sparkle more. She'll smile. You can get rainbow glitter everywhere. Could we get a message from Mary? I know you're already going to be able to get it directly, but I'll still stick this up because I think it's one of the most beautiful, radiant photos ever. And Danny, if you want to get rainbow glitter, I always associate rainbows with her and rainbow glitter. If you want to get extra compassion coming in, tell me if this works, or should I go back to the the older drawing?
I would go back to the older drawing because then you're going to make me read for her.
Oh, geez, I didn't even contemplate that one. Okay, here's Mary, and that's a good point. That was awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the message that she brings forward is to she keeps showing me to bring forward like planting seeds and to begin to contemplate the seeds of compassion, like start planting them. If compassion is something hard for you to feel for someone that goes against what you stand for, she wants you to plant a seed in her honor so that she helps you see that compassion, so that she helps you gain that compassion. If you're having, because compassion, it's honestly hard to feel for someone that you don't connect to sometimes, or someone that goes against your values or your belief. But that's where judgment creeps in and grabs a hold of you. So we have to make sure that we know we give the control, we give the this is right, being right over to God. Because at the end of the day, we really don't know what's right or wrong. We just have to trust God. And that's something that she wants to make sure if you're struggling with compassion, plant seeds in her honor and help her bring you forward towards feeling that compassion. If you are in a compassion place where you're already feeling that compassion, then she wants you to keep watering that, to keep feeding it, to keep taking care of it so that your compassion continues to grow and embrace others and other people that need that.
Awesome. I'm going to read a note, 5 sentences from angels. It's my favorite expression from them. If you could just picture the voice of angels, and then I'd love to get a reaction. Um, Sometimes the person next to you or a stranger just needs validation via love and compassion. A smile changes any moment, so too does laughter or a few kind words. Be compassion to all. Do it.
Yeah, that's exactly because they're letting us know how to see each other. They're letting us know how to treat each other. Because that's the thing about angels, like that's one of the things that they don't understand sometimes is the division that we create amongst each other, like based on blood type, family, race, everything. They just notice that there's a constant dividing ourselves into groups and just separating each other. They don't do that with themselves. They're one, they're one. They're all connected. They're all, and they want us to get there, and we can get there. But judgment, it's such a difficult place, that creates that division.
And Danny, can you take 30 seconds and just, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or they want to check out your deck or just check out the website, all your details will be below in the video description. But just where would you steer people first so they could figure out high, low, left, right what to take for a next step for you.
My website, DANYMICHAELS.com is where you can see all of my services that I offer. If you're looking more for like video content, I tend to be more active on Instagram. I'm trying to grow my YouTube more. People keep trying to get me to YouTube, so I'm trying to do that. So, but my Instagram is where you'll find a lot of my videos, my daily messages, my video messages that I do. And if you want to book a reading or something, you'll do everything on my website. There's a lot of scammers out there pretending to be me, so just know that the only way to book is on the website only. I will never ask for money. I will never message you giving you a reading. I'll never do that. I work the same way that God works, which is I you come to me. I don't go to you. And that's, but that's my website is where you'll find everything.
Are you ready for another dad joke?
Yes,
Okay. Um, ooh, this one. It's where in a hospital is the worst place to play hide and seek? Where?
the morgue.
In the ICU. Okay, I'm going to show a little bit of light on my fingers. It'll just be the force from Star Wars, universal consciousness, love, light. There's a million words for it, but just it's pretty. And then the more you let go, the more you might see or get, but you can get it around you as well. You are that light. Danny, before the show, was describing it brilliantly, pun intended. And we did this before the show. But as you say the colors, I'm going to go wider and bigger, and we'll invite more and more angels in to actually jack it. I think that's a perfectly fine expression. But you still get one more dad joke. What's the only flower found on the human face?
What?
Tulips. But there's an iris answer as well. There's always another way to look at everything. Okay, so here's a little bit of light, and people are seeing with their hearts. No try Yoda, and I'll do Yoda's voice as we're doing this. Hmm? Do, do not. There is no try. Okay. Danny, what are you already getting?
An infinity.
Oh, lovely. Okay, and I'm going to go bigger, wider, faster, and if extra wants to come in, what are you getting now?
It looks like a sunflower now.
Oh my God, that's awesome. I love shooting, photography of sunflowers. And I'll put that away. Okay. Hmm. Permission to put up Mack. Don't call her Mackenzie. She's everything plants, animals, and nature. And just so people don't think it's always balls of light or something, there's a fairy. And that's good enough. Here's Mac. Don't call her Mackenzie. Can you connect and see what comes up? And if there's anything shareable and careable, what do you get?
I get taken to like a cell in the body and like a cell in everywhere, like almost like being a part of like the connection to everything. Like it's almost like when you mention nature, like almost like a cell in a plant and a in the grass and a flower, like it's like a connection and all kind of being part of that creation process.
And can we do one more funky? We still might put our hands up and connect, but it'll be still angels doing everything. Can we have you do one more spontaneous thing? I've never done it this way for spontaneity, but if you could cup your hands in front of you off camera is fine, as if you're in the shower capturing water, and just let a lot of light and love come in. And either you can describe it to us, or you're already going to get it all over your shoulders. You were already in the flow before. Can you ask for extra to come in? And just whatever comes of it, could you share what you can share? How about that? I hope that made sense.
No, I'm kind of confused.
Oh, can you put your hands out in any which way? But if
Yeah,
you want to put them together like you're
yeah.
capturing water out of a pond,
Mhm.
ask for a lot of angel light to come into your hands, just extra. You might get an image in there. You might get an object actually. But if you could allow and maybe peek down, and if you're seeing it, you're seeing it. If you're feel seeing it, you're feel seeing it. Whichever way, any which way, and loose. The Clint Eastwood film. What are you getting right now? Are you just getting a little extra light?
I got a lot of light, but it turned into a diamond.
Ooh.
And it said that that's how they want you all to understand they see us. We're a precious diamond to them.
And I am gonna do a quote, if I can find it in time. Let me see. I'll do a quote that this jumped to mind, and let me see if I've got this in time. Oh, I won't be able to do it. Okay. Let's do it this way. What's been the most fun you've had? interacting with people over time, as you look at their interaction with angels, interaction with you, what have you come to appreciate the most that warms your heart and allows you to keep moving forward?
That's an easy question because it's how I see them getting closer to God. When people tell me, I believe in God again because of you, I believe in angels because of you, I feel my angels because of you, that's what keeps me going. When I see that this is working, this is like I'm connecting people to their spirituality, to their higher self with their angels. That's what keeps me going. When I start to see their frequency growing, their frequency getting better, kinder, peaceful, when I start to take away the unworthiness that religion created to get you to be a connection to God, and when people start to feel worthy of God and worthy of having angels, that is what fuels me and keeps me wanting to keep teaching more so that everyone feels like that. Everyone feels worthy of God and they're not worried about, this is a sin and that is wrong. And it's like, no, it's like God is love and you're worthy of him. And that's so through my readings are very different. They're very therapeutic. They're very different. So through the readings, when I see that, when I see people letting go of things, when I see them letting go of their self-doubt and going more into self-love and knowing and trusting that their angels are there and trusting that God is protecting them, that is what keeps me going. Like it's what, like I don't really, a lot of people ask me like, because when I read for people, they're always like, you're so accurate, you're always spot on, but I don't really care about being right. I care about connecting you and if you think that it's like, oh, you're so accurate about your readings, I want people to see that as like I am the proof that God is real and God exists, because I'm only but an instrument for God's work. So like that to me, it's the waking their faith is what keeps me going, like fueling their connection.
You're helping everybody with the classic treasure hunt that they're on, except the X on the map is their heart and they're the treasure. You're helping them remember they're connected. Okay, I'm going to try to find one more something to read to you. I know what it is. We're going to pick five random quotes. It could be Buddha, Einstein, Eckhart Tolle. It could be Herman Melville. Let's hope not. Moby Dick. It could be one of these famous authors of the last 100 or 200 years. It could be Winnie the Pooh too, or Obi-Wan Kenobi from Star Wars. I'm going to read anywhere from 2 to 5 quotes. You don't have to remember them, but I would love to get something spontaneous coming via angels and you to take us, one final big topic. Here's what came up. Ooh. This is Wayne Dyer. It's a little more serious. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Uh, I've got 18 pages. I'm randomly picking it out. Grow your awareness, not your thinking. Be loved to all as often as possible, no more and no less. That's a bunch of angels saying that one. Okay, I'm truly randomly shuffling here. In the end, love is what shows us life in different colors. I guess get to enjoy the contrast no matter what that contrast is. And Seneca, the philosopher of old, if you wish to be loved, love. What's your take on any or all of those, or do you want to just take us in a new direction?
I love the last one, like if you want to be loved, love. I think that it's something that really, to me, it opens up the doorway because that is so true. Like if you want to be loved by someone, you have to show also what they have to love about you. So I think that it's almost like removing that defensiveness, removing all of those things and let yourself be seen in the eyes of love is what I feel like that's what kind of resonated with me. Like almost like if you want to be loved, love, but it's like remove all, show your true self because your true self is pure love. Your higher self is all pure love. So that one felt really good.
Awesome. And you're going to close this out in just a second. We might take one more interactive with our hands, just feeling a vibe. And I'd like to bring in one more angel, my guardian angel, very watery, Minn like Minnesota. And it may be just you getting a hug. You may be relaying what you're hearing or connecting with her. Who knows? But here's Minn, silhouette, very watery. I'm supposed to say something. Light waves of energy and water and very oceany.
Yeah.
And what are you getting from Minn for all of us?
Um, I get directed a lot towards like childs, like almost like the inner child, like connecting towards like your inner child, your inner goofiness, like enjoy the little things. Like there's a lot of like inner child energy that she wants to remind people to do, to kind of go to, you know what I mean? To kind of reconnect with that inner child. Don't be afraid to do things that are in that vibration.
I love that. And hey, I mean, everyone was and is connected, period, because love is a constant. But then adulting kicked in and we've got details in life and situations. My situation is with that, can you give us the big picture 2026 talk? What do we need to know again? How simple is it all? How do we keep it real? How do we keep it simple? How do we keep it real simple?
Well, for like, you mean like the hopes for 2026 or?
Just for in general, for everybody walking their path, how to maybe less external, more here, or just daily reminders or something.
Oh, so like to me, it's like prayer is such a big thing, to really get into prayer and really bring that forward. I think that this next year, like it's about really reconstructing spirituality, like reconstructing a lot of things that I feel like are have been kind of taken away from us. So like if you're on a religious path, if you're on a spiritual path, don't be afraid to reconstruct it in a way that's going to work for you and that's going to make you feel closer to God, whether that's prayer, meditation, whatever feels that creates that connection to you is what you have to find. It one thing doesn't work for all, like it just does it's everything. It's different, everything is unique, and that's what, taking the time to find what works for you, it's what's going to have a higher thing to open up your energy towards.
Now, in Texas, we've got something called a two-step. Now, I'm not sure what that is, but we're going to make this a three-step on the final closing bit for the show. The final bit is I'd love for you to give us a mantra, something short saying, but it might not be the one that you've always been saying for like the last 5 years. Something, be love more often, show love always. A mantra, a saying, but you're going to repeat it 3 times at the very end for people to pick up on your vibration. But I'm going to do 3 steps beforehand. I'm going to put up selenite. Um, oh, we'll see if angels can sing, or just get a huge wallop, like a dollop of whipped cream on your ice cream, a dollop of angels singing, and then I'll put my hand up and we'll see how much extra vibe and if something extra creative comes in as a reminder for us all. If you don't mind repeating it 3 times at the end, it's just something I've been doing the last year and a half with guests, so that as you say we get everything from Indian expressions, India to others. We had a beautiful one the other day. I'm a sieve, so it's like this, but people can pick up on your vibration. They can put their hands up and feel you like a fireplace, but instead of heat, it'll be sparkle. Here's the selenite first. We did this before the show. You might get a hum, you might get words. Let us know that you're feeling the selenite if it's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it feels, yeah, I can feel the vibration of it.
Okay. And then do you mind allowing angels to come in even extra, some sort of it could be anything. Just one giant hug, a whoosh. What are you getting for extra right now?
I just get a lot of like I just get a lot of wind for some reason, like the wind wrapping us up and the wind holding us together.
Awesome. Okay, and I'm going to put my hand up in Texas only, love and above, good boundaries here, and for decades to come. If you don't mind putting your hand up in Arizona, yeah, our screen will flip until I put it down again. Haven't learned how to shut that feature off. I just turned it on by accident 3 days ago. Okay, here we are. And oh, I'm going to blow and whoosh once for inspiration, enthusiasm, and creativity. Do you have what you want to say to us 3 times?
Yes.
Okay. What do you got for us, Danny Michaels in Arizona?
Rest, recharge, and create. Rest, recharge, and create. Rest, recharge, create.
I love it. Danny Michaels, you've been an incredible guest on the Angels Positivity and Love Show. I'm thankful you came on and you share so much light with all of us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.